scheduled for 3 3-minute rounds in the Front Street Fights Amateur Super Middleweight Division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner to my left, making his MMA debut with us this evening, standing at 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing in at 202 pounds, fighting out of Ontario, Oregon. Please welcome Scott Devlin. And fighting out of the red corner to my right, also making his MMA debut this evening, standing 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing in at 184.5 pounds, fighting out of Boise, Idaho. Please welcome Anthony Garibai. Our referee when the action begins is Rulin Day.
And as Britt Talbert exits the cage, Rulin Day will make sure it gets shut tight. He will check both fighters, and then we will be underway with Front Street Fight 17 presented by bodybuilding.com, and here we go. Garibai with a good takedown.
Got reversed.
Again, as we mentioned, one of the fights.
Whoa! Unbelievable lateral drop, it looked like. Now he's in mount.
As we mentioned, this is one of 2 fights that got finalized on Tuesday. Anthony Garibai, as you see, is Devlin has got back position on Garibai right now. Anthony Garibai is actually a pro wrestler turned MMA artist. This is we've seen that in the UFC ranks before. Now we're seeing it before us. Of course, he's a part of the local wrestling club. And again, you mentioned when Todd dipped into the bag to find fighters. Armbar attempt right here by
nice.
Devlin.
Devlin's doing a good job. He didn't pitch his knees well, but he set that up pretty quickly.
Good right by Garibai.
Stay inside, keep your hips out.
Yeah, and that headlock from side control, that just wastes a lot of energy. It's going to get mount. You see a lot of transitions here.
As we mentioned, go back to Garibai, local pro wrestler turned MMA artist. Todd Carlson called him on Tuesday. He wasn't licensed, hadn't had his medicals, no blood work, anything like that, and went and got all that done without having a matchup in the hopes that he would be able to fight here tonight. So good to see Anthony Garibai with the big turnaround, ready to go here against Scott Devlin in the first ever super middleweight bout in Front Street Fights history.
Kind of got both double headlocks. I've never really seen that before. Nice knee by Devlin. I was going to say when you were speaking that these guys can't, I don't really see them keeping this pace up the whole fight, the entire fight, because there's so many transitions, because it's like they know a lot of stuff, but they're not executing extremely well because they're not keeping like pressure, pinching their knees in good positions, you know, holding good positions. So you're seeing like actually kind of like a really good, you know, flow between the guys, but at this weight, they're going to get tired a lot quicker than usual.
Garibai in the blue Venom trunks, throwing a couple of rights there, trying to reach the chin of Devlin. Both fighters tonight, again, making their MMA debuts, so that's always interesting to see how, not necessarily the pro debuts, because we've seen them a few times, but the amateurs, how they're going to play out in their first fight, doing it for real, as they say.
Yeah, and to that point, you know, Garibai, you know, when you ascend to pro wrestling, nobody comes off of, you know, goes out for pro wrestling without doing some sort of kind of thing that got them there, i.e. wrestling or whatnot. So, you know, yeah, he had the
Garibai
pro wrestling
going
path.
Back, trying through the rear naked choke as we go 10 seconds left in round number 1 of our opening bout tonight.
But, you know, it's like he just chose to focus on pro wrestling in lieu of MMA.
Devlin able to escape the back position there, get a couple of jabs in as we close out round number 1 between Scott Devlin and Anthony Garibai. Getting ready for the Project Filter replay, brought to you by Project Filter. You decide when, we'll show you how. Visit projectfilter.org. A lot of, as you mentioned, both of these fighters exerting a lot of energy in this first round.
Yeah, absolutely. Here you'll see the reverse. Garibai actually looks fresh as daisies right now, and Devlin is just huffing and puffing with his hands on his knees, and you know, he was really happy to take the stool. So that's what we're seeing right now in the corners. And which is really funny because he wasn't the last sub. The guy that's the most tired is not the sub. And here you see kind of a double headlock. Nothing really special here. It's just 2 amateur guys just trying to figure out to get to the best position to then beat the crap out of each other.
course, super middleweight being a 195 weight limit, and if you heard the introductions, Devlin came in at 202. I do know he tried up until the last second he could to lose as much weight, which is always nice to see. A guy that maybe he's going to come in a little bit over, definitely tried, so maybe that's playing a little bit of a factor, maybe not having enough time to recover just yet.
Yeah. I like how you laughed at me trying to explain that. How are you supposed to gild a lily there?
Round number 2 underway.
Inside kick by Devlin. Nice.
Good left there by Devlin.
Devlin's dropping his hands, especially his right hand when he throws punches. Nice head knock.
Good takedown by Devlin.
And got reversed a second time. Okay, second verse, same as the first. All right. Garibai's trying to use a kind of a traditional Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu headlock escape. If he's able to anchor and he can just rock that leg and sit up, he's not supposed to lock it. Oh, he's got a crucifix now.
Oh, going for the crucifix.
Watch the forearm shivers.
Can he pull the pressure?
Now remember, elbows are illegal here. So he can't elbow, which is some of the first UFCs you saw.
Can he twist the arm? Can Garibai get it done? Devlin
gets
out of the crucifix. Again, good job, both men getting out of whatever the other is trying to do.
Yeah, so if he needs to get on top here, does Garibai, keep his head above. If his head falls below Devlin, what's going to happen is you're going to have an exchange of positions. So, Devlin's going to try to kind of bring him in and pull that bottom arm of Garibai's to make him fall over the top. And you're seeing a naked choke here, but there's this is like a jiu-jitsu style of choke called a sliding choke or judo choke.
And the strength of Devlin, just able to pull his arm, switch over, and here we go again.
And as you saw there, we had a change in those head positions, and that's why. But, Garibai is striking from the bottom and actually quite effectively. Here's a sweep, and he's back to closed guard on top now.
The pace from round 1 to round 2 definitely slowing down just a little bit. Maybe both men realizing don't need to give it their all just yet, depending on how this round goes.
See how you kind of lose the forest through the trees right there for Garibai. He just fell over in a bad position with his back in the cage, and he might pay for it here if he doesn't push off Devlin and get out of there.
Maybe look to try and position his body, maybe throw a late armbar attempt here in the last 35 seconds of round number 2.
True. We'll see.
He's got to be careful to not hook the feet into the cage. Referee Roland Day checking both men.
Whoa, what was that? See,
a little slip and fall there, and now Garibai goes for the back position again, trying to throw the rear naked choke, but once again, Devlin rolling through. Good job by both men. The counters by both men throughout this fight have been good as we come to the conclusion of round number 2.
This is going to be a really hard match to score. Matchup. Because both guys are getting great positions, but some of it is at fault to themselves. So, if I'm looking at it from the judges' standpoint, it's really hard to score these rounds.
As we go to the Project Filter replay, brought to you by Project Filter, you decide when. We'll show you how.
Watch this double reverse. 1 reversal and 2 reversals. There you go. And then we go for the headlock escape. And here you have the crucifix. And remember, in amateurs, strikes with your elbows, pointing your elbows, is actually illegal. Rimco Pardo did this and knocked a guy out in the first UFC.
This was the ending of the second round here. We were trying to quite figure out what both men were trying to do here. Again, cage position. You saw the toes hook there. He's going to have to be very careful with that. Coming into round number 3, as you mentioned, as we get ready to start this third and final round, if it does indeed go to the judges, a tough one to score so far. What do you think both men have to do going into this third and final round to take home the W?
Well, I think right now that it's going to start to sway to Garibai because he's got the cardio. He's in really good shape. And I am never, oh, what is that?
Headlock takedown, another reversal.
And another reversal.
Another roll through, a couple of roll throughs here.
This
has been great.
I know. And so what I was trying to say is, that's
an illegal head kick. That's an illegal head kick. He's going to take 1 point away for that.
That's what you get for inexperience. Now remember, I think they get up to 5 minutes.
Up to 5 minutes. If he does start, they do get up to 5 minutes. But again, as you can see, referee Rulon Day did signify he is taking 1 point away from Anthony Garibai.
So as I was saying, Garibai has the desire to win, and he's got.
Both men do.
I know he's got pretty good technique, but his cardio, his gas is way better. Oh, nice.
Good side takedown.
And so.
Throwing a couple of hammer fists there.
Even
Devlin
though
doing a good job getting the hand up.
Yeah, even though it seems that Devlin's had a little bit more time sparring, now you're starting to see the
couple
gas.
of big hammer fists there.
And this is what you get when you have a discrepancy in cardio. This is what you start to see.
Garibai going for the hammer fist. Is Devlin going to be escape this one yet again?
Changing
he
head positions.
does. This has been an amazing display by both men. Just when you think it might be over, the other one gets the reversal and gets out of a sticky situation.
It looks like Devlin's actually laughing. I heard him laugh. Saw him laugh. That was funny. At least you're having a good time.
90 seconds left in this third and final round of our opening bout of French Fights 17. And again, now Devlin starting to apply the pressure to Garibai. We'll see if Garibai can do anything in this final minute 20 to maybe take it home in his favor. Of course, you can hear some of the fans there. Some of the fans there, some of his fellow wrestlers from Wrestle Club cheering him on tonight. Coming up to the final 60 seconds. Anthony Garibai looking for yet another armbar potentially. Devlin doing a good job getting out of the upper back position. He's got the rear naked choke locked in.
It's under the chin. It's under the chin. Could he pull it off? He's got 50 seconds left. If he squeezes and arches and
Garibai
breathes,
is
I think he's got it, Matt.
He's got it.
Unbelievable.
He taps out of nowhere. Scott Devlin escapes once again. Gets the back position, applies the rear naked choke to take home the victory over Anthony Garibai. How impressive was that, Mitch?
Okay, I have an assessment here.
Okay, that's what we pay you for.
I truly believe this. Because he does pro wrestling, he switches in and out and gives up those good positions so easily because he's used to that show, to that dance. And that's exactly what you saw there. He never sticks a position and holds it just to win because he's putting on more of a performance from pro wrestling. And so he got a little too comfortable.
As we go to the Project Filter replay brought to you by Project Filter, you decide when. We'll show you how. Visit projectfilter.org. Yet another reversal that we saw throughout this fight.
Yeah, and that would explain the uncanny business there. Here you see the
where the
armbar.
inexperience picked in.
Was
the
a
1
stomp.
point deduction for the stomp there, illegal stomp to the head. And the finish of the fight, out of nowhere, Devlin escapes, gets back position on Garibai, locks in the rear naked choke, and that is all she wrote as Scott Devlin will take home his first victory in his MMA debut. And, you know, again, props to both men. This fight, as we mentioned, got finalized just this past Tuesday. And, again, much respect to Anthony Garibai, as we mentioned, went and got the work done without even having this matchup.
Yeah.
So we are going to step aside. We are going to send this into the cage with Britt Talbert to make this one final.
All right, fans, in their MMA debut tonight, these guys gave it all they had. How about a nice round of applause here? Couple of amateurs making their debut tonight. We have a winner by way of rear naked choke, a tap out at 2:17 of the round number 3 for your winner out of the blue corner, Scott Devlin.